Dr. Bruce Heilman is a treasure of Oldham County. He has become an inspiration for military veterans and their families, riding hundreds of thousands of miles across the U.S. and abroad on his Harley Davidson motorcycle, all to bring awareness to the greatest generation and Gold Star families, those who've lost a family member while serving.
It's not because I ride a motorcycle. It's not because I'm 92. It's because I ride a motorcycle at 92.
His story begins on a dairy farm in Ballardsville, Kentucky.
We grew up from age being born until age 17 with my father, who was a tenant farmer who never finished grade school, but he's smarter than I am with a PhD. I learned to milk cows. I was the best milker there, and to please my father, I always continued to prove I was. When I was 17, I joined the Marine Corps, trying to get away from those cows. And that was why I had such a problem with education. I literally flunked out of high school because I slept through the day. I was lacking sleep.
In a boot camp with 600 Marines, Dr. Heilman was the top scorer on the rifle range.
I was the youngest, 17. I was the smallest. Being the top scorer is a pretty important thing. So I was given a recognition in boot camp. When we were graduating, President Franklin Roosevelt reviewed the troops. They called me out of the ranks of several hundred Marines, and I had the pleasure of meeting President Roosevelt.
Once out of boot camp, Heilman trained to be a tail gunner since he had scored so high on the firing range. He then headed on to San Diego to board a troop ship with 400 other fellow Marines. Their destination, Okinawa.
Of course, that was one of the most vicious battles, also like Iwo Jima.
We're continually moving in closer toward Okinawa, Shima.
Most of my boot camp buddies were either wounded or killed on that island, so I had lots of my friends. And then on Okinawa, some of the rest of them got it. Fortunately, I'm still here.
But there was yet another obstacle to overcome. Later, Heilman was aboard a transport plane taking off from Iwo Jima.
The plane was not loaded properly. It just rolled over and nosed right into the ground. So I'm a survivor of Iwo Jima also. So that's a miracle that I managed to survive on Iwo Jima.
Once he had served his time in the military, Heilman, with the help of the GI Bill, went on to attend college at Campbellsville University. And there, he met the love of his life.
Started college, met my wife, married her before I was out of freshman year in college.
Some years later, Heilman earned numerous doctorate degrees and served as president of Meredith College and the University of Richmond from 1971 to 1986. He now resides as the chancellor of the university.
I've been in higher education for 67 years in 4 states and have held every position at the senior level, including presidency of 2 institutions. But people know me today more from my motorcycle riding than they know where I've been in education.
His passion for education was not outmatched by his passion of motorcycles, which goes back decades.
So I had my first Harley back at Quantico, Virginia. I couldn't afford a motorcycle and a bride, so I got rid of the motorcycle. For 50 years, with 5 kids and 11 grandkids, I never rode a motorcycle, and they all had finished college by that time. And my wife bought me a brand new red Harley Davidson Road King, and I was 71. Well, I've been riding 21 years since.
He's put over 100,000 miles on that bike, riding through every state in the country to bring awareness to our nation's vets and their families as the national spokesperson for the greatest generation.
What it does in highlighting the service of the war is to take veterans back to the place where they risked their lives and survived. So we memorialize those who died. We honor them. We don't go back to mourn them. We go back to honor them.
In May of 2018, Dr. Heilman was the keynote speaker at the annual Memorial Day weekend event in Virginia, where hundreds of thousands of motorcycles make their way to the Pentagon in Washington to remember those who have served and those who have given their lives while serving this country.
For which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please welcome Dr. Bruce Heilman.
As spokesperson of the Greatest Generation Foundation, I speak often to veterans about those who gave their lives. Ulysses represents those of us World War II veterans, all of us in our 90s, who look back with pride as well as forward with hope. In his words, "We are not now that strength which in old days moved earth and heaven, but that which we are, one equal temper of heroic hearts, made weak by time and fate, but strong in will, to strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield." And now the next time you see or hear or read about a Gold Star family, remember what it's like to die for your country, and know that only freedom is worth such a sacrifice. This may well be the last time you will hear anything so vivid as this from a World War II veteran. And now knowing what it can be like to die for your country, you understand why. Thank you.
No matter where I go in the country, they know of Dr. Heilman. You mentioned the riding Marine. Just everybody knows him.
It's the way he serves the public, he serves his veterans, his fellow veterans, fellow Marines. You know, it's really inspiring, and we need more like him around.
Now work is underway to commemorate Dr. Heilman and all of his selfless work that he's done for our nation's veterans, and it's coming in the form of a bronze, full-size statue of Dr. Heilman riding his famous Harley Davidson.
Doing a project like this, something I enjoy and getting paid for it, it's like one of the best things that's ever happened. The name of it is Road Warrior. Well, he'll be positioned leaning into a curve. He will be able to give a thumbs up to the viewers, and there'll be plenty of room on the passenger seat for someone to jump on and hang on to his waist, or go wild and crazy as they take a ride with him for a good photo op. It's going to be cool.
But this project can't be done without your help. Donations are now being accepted through the Oldham County Historical Society, who is spearheading this project. Visit this link to the GoFundMe account to add your support.